So it is a very profound sharing, and many of them also are reminded of the pets that they may have had as a child, and the kind of experience that they've had with the pets, and how they've kind of helped them, and the kind of affection. Most of them are very overwhelmed with the loyalty that the dog has shared with them, the affection that the dog shared, and they really miss that kind of non judgmental affection that dogs generally give us. They don't really care who we are, what we do, what we've done, right? They're just full of love and affection. And even if you've had a meltdown, or you may have chased the dog away when certain moment you just don't want, they always come back to you. They really, I'm sure if you've had a dog, you've experienced that. So that way, it was it's a really nice experience for the patients, and they've really shared with us. And we are now looking to extend uh, the activity, the animal assisted activity, to family members who come and support their loved ones during rehab, children who come. So we're looking forward, and we're trying to draw it out. I think during the animal assisted activities, certain activities like stroking the dog, petting him itself is very relaxing. In fact, I've experienced that myself. When there is a tense moment, there is a lot of tension, and you thoughts are running by, and there are a lot of things. This sight of the dog, or the itself around you, or the dog just coming, sitting just next to you, is quite calming in that sense. I've experienced that in the family, and I've also seen my son who goes through, he's a teenager who goes through turbulent times at sometimes, and he's pulled up by us or anything. The dog is gently there to uh, offer that solace to him and comfort him, right? And we've seen, anytime our voice raises against the child or anything, the dog is there in between us and him, trying to pacify us and be more kinder to my son. So all this experience is there. It definitely um, I would say, very therapeutic to have a dog around, and It's helped greatly, and it's for people to really see and believe. Okay, and yeah. So one more thing, that yeah. So during this therapy, the dog, when he comes in, he's so prepared. He's so beautifully trained. So let me tell you, not all dogs can become therapy dogs, right? They need to have that temperament, the discipline. So yeah, they're trained. They Certain characteristics are identified, and they are trained professionally to become a therapy dog. And this dog that comes here, we call him Johnny. He he's so disciplined. The way he comes and sits in his designated place. There are small chits that the therapist distributes, motivating words that are hung around his neck, and the patients take it and read it. And they have their own sharing, and what they have to tell Johnny, they observe, and then people who are okay to stroke him, they stroke him, they pet him. So that whole process itself is very, very uh, relaxing for them. They find it very relaxing, and somewhere, when they see the dog listening to all their stories very patiently, and sometimes he'll just look at them like he understands every word that they are saying. And again, very non-judgmental. And sometimes some patients, get overwhelmed, and they probably stroke him a little hard. He just doesn't move, not an inch. He just waits for them to be done. Some of them even have a meltdown. They cry. They probably remember their pets. They remember their younger days that takes them to those days. And some of them even get emotionally, they break down. There's a meltdown. All this, the therapy dog is very patient throughout, does not move. He just sits comfortably listening to them. Of course, it's our responsibility also to safeguard the dog, and to ensure there's no harm, which we also do, and to also ensure the place that we've allocated for the therapy is very comfortable for the dog also. So all these are taken care of, but it is a beautiful bonding that a dog shares with the human. We see it every day. And now I will introduce you to three beautiful souls that we share our home with. And they are with my we stay, uh, my parents also stay, on the same apartment. So between the two families, between my family and my parents, we have three dogs. And how beautifully they keep company to senior citizens, that is another story altogether. So they're a lovely company to them. And the youngsters, the adolescents, they just kind of mold themselves into the person. Like suppose they are with me, they behave differently. They are with my son, they behave differently. And when they're with my parents, they behave very differently. They know how to kind of adjust and mold into the environment and with the person and behave the way that they are comfortable in, right? So I would introduce you to them now.